Hi, and welcome to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. For today's workout, all you'll need is a yoga mat or a towel or something that you can lay comfortably on to do exercises, and then a chair, and I believe that is it, and water. I think I might have said that. It's Monday. Sorry for the slightly delayed start. We again had some slight technical difficulties, but we're gonna get started here in just a second. So get set up if you need, and I'll make sure everything looks good, and then we'll get started with the warm-up. Beautiful. All right. So all right. So let's get started. So if you have any questions, please feel free to. I can't talk today. Please feel free to drop them in the comments. We're going to start today with a warm-up. So go ahead on over to your mat or towel or whatever you are doing your exercises on. We're going to start with some walkouts. So you're going to walk your hands out into a plank position and back 5 times. Sorry. So that's 5 reps. And make sure in between each rep, you want to stand all the way back up. So nice and tall. And on this last one, you can stay in the plank position. You're going to bring one leg forward and then open up toward that leg. And then switch sides. So other leg forward, opening up, switch again. Perfect. So go ahead and come back to a kneeling position. So we're going to do a set of 5 cat-cows. For these, you are going to inhale up into your spine, exhale down and let your chest drop toward the floor. So inhale up, exhale down. All right. So we're going to move into a hip flexor stretch. So just for a second here, we're going to actually switch sides so you can see a little better. So one knee on the ground, one leg forward. Keeping your core and your glutes engaged, you're going to just bring your hips forward until you feel a stretch in the front of your back leg. You can also reach towards the ceiling if you want. And shift back, shift forward again. And switch sides. So we're not going to hold for a long time with this. We're just going to kind of move, feel out our range of motion. Then we're going to stand. with feet at least hip width apart. And we're going to sit into a deep squat. So hands on your toes if you can grab them. Elbows on the inside of your knees pushing out. We're just going to hang out here for a few seconds and shift your weight a little bit. And then come on up into a hamstring stretch. You just let your hands dangle towards the floor. It's okay if you can't touch the floor. And then back down. This time really using your elbows to push your knees out. Maybe shifting your weight a little bit back and forth. And then back up into that hamstring stretch. We're going to slowly come all the way up. And we're going to take one arm, place it behind our back, and gently pull our head away from the arm that is behind our back. So taking some deep breaths, you're going to feel that stretch in your neck and your traps. So you don't have to pull very aggressively. You can just kind of gently pull your head away. And then shift so you're pulling a little more downward. Just ever so slightly. Make sure you're continuing to breathe. And switch which arm is behind your back. And pull that head slightly forward. All right. So next up, we're going to actually come back to that tabletop position we were in earlier. And I'm going to face towards the camera so that you can see what I'm doing. So we are going to start on your hands and knees, engaging your core. And then you're going to lift your leg out to the side. We're going to do a set of 5 reps per side. Try to keep the movement within your hip. And switch sides. And go ahead and sit back, just turning so you can see, into child's pose. So you can let your forehead rest on the ground, allow yourself to really sink into the floor. I'm just going to take a few deep breaths. And then coming back up into that tabletop position. Again, I'm just switching so that you can see. You're going to reach one arm under, bring that shoulder all the way to the floor if you can. Take a few deep breaths. And then switch sides. And last but not least, we're going to get a good calf stretch in. Ooh, actually, I'm lying to you. We're actually going to do some 12 glute bridges first. Then we will do a calf stretch. So, lying on your back, feet hip width apart, arms at your side, engaging your core. You're going to drive up through your glutes and hamstrings. So, up to here. Keeping that core engaged, you don't have to extend further through arching your back. You just want to come up so that your hips are open and then back down. So to here, back down, keep that core engaged. So 12 of these. great job. So flip on over. We're gonna do a set of 12 super people, and then we will move on to calf stretch, and we'll talk about our first circuit. So first super people, you're extending your arms and legs. You're squeezing your posterior chain to come up and back down. So up, back down. And go ahead and stand up. We are going to do our calf stretch. So you can put your foot against something that won't move, just like this. Take some deep breaths. And switch legs. All right, so grab some water. I'm going to talk about our first circuit. All right, so circuit 1 today is single leg deadlifts, YTAs, push-ups, and a hollow hold. So start with single leg deadlifts. I'm going to show you from the side. So you're going to engage your core, standing on one leg, allowing your hips to hinge back. So feeling the tension in your hamstring. Come as far back as you can, and then back up. So it's less about making it right all the way to the ground, and more about keeping the tension in your hamstring without letting your back bend. So you're keeping that core engaged, hinging, and back up. So again, from this angle, core is engaged, hinging, and back up. So that's going to be your single leg deadlift. We'll do 30 seconds per leg. I'll tell you with the switch. YTAs, you are laying on the ground similarly to like when you're doing two people, and you are making a YTA by lifting, squeezing your shoulders, the backs of your shoulders. So YTA. You don't have to lift your head or legs off the ground. You're just moving your arms. Next we have push-ups. So push-ups, you can modify these to fit your body's needs. I'm going to start with beginner to more advanced. So if you are newer to push-ups, I would start using a wall and just coming towards the wall, pressing back out, keeping your core engaged. So you ideally want your hands to end right about where your armpits are and your elbows to come out at about a 45-degree angle. You don't want to be super close to your body because then it's going to be all tricep, but you don't want to be all the way up here because that means that you're not keeping your shoulder blades down and back. So the push-up really needs to be something that you're pushing from your chest. From the wall, you can then move on to using a chair or something sturdy enough to put your weight into, like this, to do an incline push-up. From there, you can shift to kneeling. So kneeling, just like this, lowering yourself, pressing back up, and then finally, you can also do full extension, just like that. So any of those variations work. You can also do negatives where you just lower yourself down and then reset to the top position. Lastly, we have hollow hold. So hollow hold, you are laying On your back, you are engaging your core and you are extending to hold. So you don't want to let your back arch, you're keeping that core engaged. It's going to be easier the more your arms are this way. So the easiest starting position is going to be with your legs more up, like this. As you lower your legs more, it gets harder. And then as you bring your arms back, it gets even harder. So this is going to be the most difficult position for that hollow hold. So again, take breaks as you need and start where you feel most comfortable. So that's going to be our first circuit. So we're going to start in 30 seconds with those single leg deadlifts. So if you need to stretch anything else, grab some water, go ahead and do it. We're going to get started here in just about 20 seconds. So 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And switch legs. Woo. You might find that one side is more difficult than the other, and that is okay. And rest. Good job. So next up, you can lay on your stomach for those YTAs. Ready, and go. All right. So we have push-ups next. Remember, you're going to want to modify these to fit where you are at. So you can do anything from a wall sit-up to a full extension sit-up. Push-up. Any push-up version that works for you works for me. So, are we ready? And go. And rest. Good job. So last but not least, we have the hollow hold. Remember, when your arms and legs are both closer to the ground, it is harder. So your easier positions are going to be here, and as you come down here, it gets harder, and then harder this way. So we're going to start in just a few seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. So grab some water. Just turn down the lights a little in here. If anyone has any issues seeing, let me know, and I will turn them back up. One of the lights shines directly in my face when I'm in this spot, so it's a little hard to think when I'm being visually overwhelmed. So, okay, so we're gonna rest for another 45 seconds, and then we're repeating that full round. So we'll be starting again with single leg deadlifts. Fifteen seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And switch legs. And rest. If you're wondering why I was standing on the plate this round rather than just the ground, the mats in here are kind of squishy, so it makes it hard to balance. So just trying to make it a little easier for myself that second round. Okay, so next up we have YTA. So you are laying on your stomach. Make sure you have room to move your arms. And go. And rest. So next up you have those push-ups. So remember, however you're going to modify them, feel free. I forgot to mention this the first time. You can always switch to an easier modification once you feel like you're fatiguing and your form is suffering. You can also rest in the plank position if you feel like you need to rest for a second. So we will start in 10 seconds with these push-ups. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Good job. Okay, so we have a 30-second hollow hold, and then we're going to rest again and switch to circuit 2. Are we ready? Set and go. And rest. All right. That's hard. Let's start circuit 2 here in a second. So let me talk you through that. Grab some water. All right, so circuit 2 is squats, plank to downward dog taps, which I'll show you, dead bugs, and side planks. So today's workout's a lot of core. So squats, this is where that chair might come in handy. So if you feel like when you're squatting, you don't feel comfortable sitting all the way back in your squat because you feel like you're going to lose your balance, we have 2 solutions for you. One being, you can elevate your heels. So you can use something that's like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick, like a couple of books, something similar, a rolled up yoga mat. So you can elevate your heels like this. You feel like you're leaning really far forward in your squat. So real quick squat form. Your feet are at least hip width apart, core is engaged. Try to keep that chest up as much as possible. Hips come back, knees come forward and out, and back up. So again, if you have tight calves or you feel like you're leaning really far forward, you can try elevating your heels. And then same thing, you're sitting back, coming up. You can also squat to a bench or a chair. So just like this, and then back up. So any of those are fine. Next up, we have plank to downward dog with taps. So for these, you are starting in a plank position, and you are shifting back by pushing through your shoulders, tapping the opposite knee, coming back. So just like this. If you feel like that modification or that version is a little too challenging, you can instead stay in plank and shift into downward dog and then come back just like this. You can also elevate by using a chair or a bench, and you can start here and then press here and come back. So then you're not having to have your full body weight pressing overhead. So any of those variations works. Third, we have dead bugs. So you're going to lay on your back, engaging your core so your back is pressed into the ground. Opposite arm, opposite leg, lowering down, just like this, keeping your core engaged. So if you feel like the coordination aspect is difficult, You can also just keep your arms at your side and just extend one leg at a time. Or you can do marching. So same thing, make sure you're keeping that core engaged, slowly bringing one leg up and back down and alternating, keeping that core engaged. So any of those work. And then last but not least, side plank. So you can start, if you've never done side plank, or if you're newer to side planks, start by stacking your legs on top of each other and bending your knees. And so then you're just coming up like this. It's a very small movement. If that feels too easy, you can go into full extension, just like this. So that is going to be our second circuit today. We're going to start here in 15 seconds with those squats. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. So you have a few seconds, and we're going to go into those plank to downward dog taps. Ready, and go. And rest. Good job. So you can flip on over and lay on your back. And we are going to do some dead bugs. Ready, and go. And rest. So last but not least, we have our side plank. So remember, you can stack your knees on top of each other like this. For a slightly easier version, for a harder version, just like this. Ready, set, and go. Halfway. 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. Ready? And I'll give everyone a few more seconds actually. 3, 2, 1, and go. Halfway. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab some water. All right. So we're going to repeat circuit 2 one more time, and then we'll finish with some core, and you are done for today. So I'm going to minimize the rest time here just because we're already running a little bit behind. So we're going to start with squats in 30 seconds. In 15 seconds. Also, before I forget, final reminder to fill out the census. You still have a few days left. Super important. If you haven't already filled out the census, please do. And we're going to start with squats in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last one. Good job. Okay, so next up we have those planks downward dog taps. Are we ready? And go. And rest. Whew. All right. So let's flip on over for those dead bugs. So remember, if you have trouble with the coordination, you can always just do your legs, or you can even do slow marching, just like this, keeping your core engaged. So ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. And rest. Okay, so your final side plank. So remember, adjust these to meet your needs. And are we ready? 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Ten seconds. And switch sides. Three, 2, 1, and go. Ten seconds. Three, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. Grab a sip of water. We have just a few things left. All right. So, first things first, we're going to do a set of bird dogs. These might feel a little bit more difficult than normal because this is the end of the workout and not the beginning. So your core is a little more fatigued. So you are on your hands and knees, extending opposite arm, opposite leg, trying to keep that core engaged. So we'll do a set of 16 total, or 8 per side. So ready, and go. And rest. So we're going to flip over. We're going to do a set of 20 crunches, any variation that you would like. When you are ready, and go. Good job. Okay, so last but not least, we are going to do a set of 15 leg raises. You can keep your hands under your butt for these to make them a little bit easier. So lying on your back, hands under your butt, not letting your back arch, so keeping your core engaged. You're just coming all the way down, back up. If you struggle with both legs, try doing just one leg at a time, just like that. Or you can just do partial movement, or you can even bend your knees a little bit, which will make it a little bit more easier. So, 15 reps and then you're done. And that is it for today. Whew. So, as always, thank you all for attending Movement Mondays. I am Alex Weaver. I am coach and owner of Alien Athletes. Thank you, Thunder Mist, for sponsoring this class. And this class happens every Monday, same time, same place, 6 p.m. And I hope to see you again next week. Have a great week, everyone. And fill out the census if you haven't.